Michael Patrick Flanagan on the other end of our AT&T line. Welcome back to the program, sir.
How are you, Michael Patrick? That's appropriate intro. I'm an Irish Brooklyn guy.
That's right. Well, welcome. And we haven't already had snow days this year in November, have we?
In a few places.
Oh,
yep.
My gosh. Here we go again. We'll be in school till July if it's anything like this. Nevertheless, the State Department of Education has unveiled an online exam that is going to replace the MEAP test starting next spring. Can you explain now? The MEAP test you filled in with like a number 2 lead pencil, didn't you? And how are the students going to take it online?
Well, we have a paper backup for those districts that can't. About 80% of them are set up so they can go right to online, and it's a much better experience for the kids. They're used to this technology. In addition, the teachers will get feedback much quicker. And this is the year that we moved from fall to spring. I mean, this has been something in the works for a while, but you don't really want to test kids on something that's this high stakes once they get off a summer break. So we've got a bunch of things we've had to work through this year. I mean, the legislature kind of derailed us on our original plan to do testing. So we had the old MEAP last year, which was kind of a 44-year-old dinosaur, and then we were directed, or they have the power of the purse string to develop a new MEAP for 1 year, and then we're out for bid right now for a different test that'll be the following year. So there'll be 3 different tests, which isn't ideal to say the least. By the way, because of that, I decided we're not going to hold districts accountable for some of the consequences of that, given the change in testing. Mm-hmm. But the online's very exciting, and the kids are going to be great with it.
Is the test, would you say, is it meant to be tougher? Is it meant to be broader? Why the change?
Well, first of all, the old MEAP it was designed years ago to be kind of a diagnostic test so that you could, a different era. Right now, what we're doing is it's aligned. You remember kind of all the debate last year about the Common Core and state standards and all that. Mm-hmm. So we got through all that. The legislature did a good job in the final analysis. I thank them for that. But on that count, therefore, you have to have a test that aligns to that. Mm-hmm. In effect, you have to have a test that tests what the core content is. So that's what we've done. We had a plan for 3 years. It got controversial. We worked with 30 other states to put it together, but that was, as I said, derailed. And so our guys, I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people think state workers are kind of bureaucrats. They're really not. They're hardworking, talented people, and the folks on our second floor that scurried to get another kind of interim test, because we had the old one last year, as I said, an interim test for this year, and then in addition, move everything to spring. And then certainly the 800 districts out there that are pulling this off, I really can't thank them enough. We've got a lot of great, 100,000 teachers that are doing a great job. A lot of underrating going on right now in the education world.
The MEAP test is designed to sort of give us an idea of how well our students are being taught?
Yeah, I mean, in effect, let's say there was some controversy my first year when we did what was called the Michigan Merit Curriculum, where we said all kids, we need to try to expose to algebra. And, there's different ways to get there. You can get to algebra through a construction trades course. You can learn the Pythagorean theorem, or you can do it in a traditional way. But the bottom line is sooner or later you have a test that tests whether or not the kids understand the Pythagorean theorem. So that's really all this is. It's trying to test what teachers and others have developed that we believe kids should learn.
I see one of the items possibly in lame duck or disco duck, as we're calling it, because what did House Speaker Jace Bolger call it, Tony Cuthbert? The super duck or something like that. We'll be grading teachers on an A through F scale instead of what? It's color-coded or something like that right now? What are the chances of that?
I think that's actually they're trying to grade schools, not teachers, based on that. And, I'm kind of agnostic there. I think we've put together what the feds have kind of required. So we've got a color system in place, but if they feel strongly that it needs to be something else, we'd prefer to just keep it the way it is. There's already so many changes, it gets hard for people to follow this, particularly the teachers in the classroom. Mm-hmm. 3 different tests over 3 different years. You're coded one way a year, a different way the next year. I mean, that's been in my 9 years, that's been one of the difficulties, is trying to, we don't have as much control as some people think. There's so many intersecting federal and state laws that give us requirements. I mean, this year's test is a perfect example. We want to give and have given an ACT, college entrance exam, for kids all along. It's a good thing. It doesn't align to the Common Core. So
well, that's a very complicated matter then, because that ACT test often determines where you go on to higher education. Thank you, Superintendent.